Welcome to the 290 Mo podcast. I appreciate your time. If you could, introduce yourself for my viewers and listeners.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Life Coach Jeff, coming to you live on the 290 Mo podcast, man. Listen, I'm just a life coach out here trying to do things different through radio and just trying to spread my message. Because at the end of the day, it's not about me, it's about the people. I have a radio show on Biggs Radio, WCHI Biggs Radio Chicago, called the Jeff Relaford Show. And I have the Redirect, Regroup, Refocus podcast that I do on Wednesdays. The radio show for Biggs Radio is on Mondays from 5 to 6, and the podcast is on Wednesdays from 5 to 6. What, man, what don't I do, brother? I got a lot of stuff going on.
We're going to get into it, man. We're going to get into it, man. And for sure, you're definitely a brother that I've been noticing, you know what I'm saying? Because I started doing this around like 2020, and then really in this form and fashion like 2023 I started like doing it like this.
Okay.
So like I meet new people all the time, you know what I'm saying? And I first saw your content, you had did something with Ms. Mina, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
definitely, yep.
it had jumped out to me, you know. Every time I see somebody doing something that's like helping other people, when it be like, you don't gotta do it, like, why, you know, I'll be like, you know what I'm saying, I'll be trying to see their story, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get your story if you don't mind.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, let's start from the top, man. Where you from? Where you grew up?
I grew up in Maryville, Indiana. So I'm not a Chicagoan. I'm an Indiana boy.
Ain't no
We
wrong.
ain't gonna say Indiana, but we're not gonna say that. That ain't what I am.
We ain't gonna say that.
No, I ain't even a Hoosier. I don't even know what a Hoosier is. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. So what's Maryville like? You know what I'm saying? What was it like growing up out there?
Maryville was okay. You know what I mean? It wasn't too bad. I was borderline to Gary, so I want to let people know that Gary and Maryville are two different animals. They two different beasts. They two different towns. One's a city. Should be a city. It's big enough. But Maryville wasn't that bad, man. I grew up with a real rich, diverse group of people. You know, we were past the era of a lot of that racism, like my mom had dealt with and everything like that before when she was in school.
Cause that's what I hear about when I hear about like Indiana. You know what I'm saying? Outside of Gary, you'll hear like it'd be like this racist stuff going on. You know?
It depends on when you go. Let me put it this way: you don't want to go to Couts
See, I ain't
maybe
never heard it.
not.
I ain't gonna be there.
because it sound like grass and corn, and that's what it is. And sometimes that's what you're going to encounter down there. That's the real part of it. But other than that, man, you going to Hobart, you going to Crown Point, going to East Chicago, more of us. You know what I mean? Hammond is a lot of us out there too.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so it's diverse, man. Northwest Indiana is just this big old melting pot. I like to compare it to Chicago because it's got a lot going on, but it's just sectioned out. You know what I mean?
Okay. What was some of your early aspirations, you know what I'm saying, out there? You know what I'm saying? Early, you know, they told you could be anything you can be, you know what I'm saying? What was that?
You know what? I'm gonna be real honest when I say this. My people did not tell me that I can like be anything or do anything. It was more like you have a choice in the direction in which you want to go in. Like real talk, I'm a maintenance electrician. You know, so my mom told me that trade school was something you can get into. It was never nothing persuasive. You know, I didn't really have too many idols when I was younger, you know, but it was just one of those things. You know, I'm not going to sit on here and be cliche and say, oh, you know, I was always paying attention to Michael Jordan. Nah, you know, that wasn't really my thing.
Yeah,
you
for
know?
sure. Yeah.
So.
I'm a trade school baby as well. I had went to Job Corps though. I went to Job Corps.
Okay,
for
yeah.
carpentry, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, I had the same thing. It was I had a big issue with school, you know what I'm saying? Like the sitting in class, I was like more of a hands on, you know what I'm saying? I got the Job Corps.
Bro, exactly.
This shit was amazing. Like we was up in there building shit. That shit was, I ain't want to leave, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, that was when Everest College was still around. I got my electrician, they gave it our electrician diploma. And I want to tell people this, it's not about the piece of paper that you get, it's how you able to make it look and present it. Because that's how I've been able to move around with my career as being an electrician or being in maintenance.
But it's not even that. It's an electrician. You got a job forever. We always need the lights,
Hey,
goddammit.
that's why. Now this is why. Always need the light. I like that. They don't call me Sparky though because I don't get zapped. I ain't been hit with the juice, man.
I hope not.
I ain't never been hit with the juice. You
I
gotta
hope-
be safe,
right.
You know.
You gotta be blessed too. You get hit with that.
I'm trying to tell you. I done heard a lot of stories about people who done got hit in the rain, working, doing stuff that the boss told them to do. I said, no, not in my house. I'm not going outside. We ain't doing all that.
For sure.
Especially in the rain. You know?
Now, also, you know what I'm saying? What kind of stuff is it for a young brother to get into, you know what I'm saying, in Maryville, you know what I'm saying, coming up, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. a lot of it is like community oriented. You know what I mean? Like they big on the basketball games, the football games, that type of stuff.
Okay.
But you know, we still got restaurants, places to go to, a little bit of fine dining here and there. You know what I mean? I ain't saying it's too illustrious and big.
Would you consider it country or is it like city like?
It's not. It's definitely not country. When I was talking about Knox and Couch, that's country.
Okay.
No,
For sure.
this ain't country.
For sure.
It's more of it's a nice metropolitan. You know, it's a very nice metropolitan. It's kind of like, dang, what's some of the places I've been out to? See, I'm new to all the Illinois stuff, so it's kind of like a nice side of the. It's like a nice portion of the north side. You know what I mean? When you up there, the hustle and bustle and everything.
Yeah.
It's a little bit. It's a more civilized crowd of people. You don't have. I didn't grow up with a lot of riffraff or around it.
Yeah.
I could have gone that way.
Right, for sure.
But I.
For sure. That's anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Anywhere.
For sure. Yeah. So being an electrician, you know what I'm saying? Did you not like get that career path and that trade and was like, I'm satisfied with just doing this? Like how do we, you know what I'm saying, go outside of being an electrician?
Okay. I've always had the mentality that if I find something that I'm interested in, that's what I was going to stick with. That was going to be the career move. That was going to be the goal. And when I found out that, you know, with trade school and being an electrician, I actually just stumbled upon it. I was looking through a whole list of trades that I could go down and what I could do. Like, all right, I tried to get in the brick mason union. All right, I tried to do a couple things with the Teamsters, some other stuff, you know. But even carpentry, even IBEW in Indiana. But something didn't feel right about it. I said, you know what? Okay, we're going to have to go a different route with this. I said, what's something that I can do and I really just have to use my brain? Not necessarily be the smartest one in the room, but what's a smart trade to get into to where you can use majority of your brain and not get dirty? The only one is electrical work, dog. The only one is being an electrician. Like today, man.
Even with the not get dirty part, you got to get dirty, right?
Oh, I get dirty. But I have a lot of days, brother, when I don't get dirty.
It ain't plumbing dirty.
It ain't plumbing dirty. Exactly, brother. It might be some grease on your uniform, some stuff here and there. Brother, my hands are clean. Yeah. Do these look like electrician?
Ain't no dude.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You know, so that was my whole MO with it. Because the thing is, like today, I sat up here, brother, I got a call and I changed out a fuse. All I did was open up a cabinet, look at a print. I said, okay, this is connected to this sends power to this. Okay, I can plop that out. Boom. So I wanted to attain a skill that I wouldn't have to work real hard to do, but if I wanted to get the money, it would be easy for me to get the money. You know,
for sure.
Other jobs you got to work, bro.
For sure.
I don't feel like I'm working.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah, and you could take off at any time and make your own company. You know.
Yeah, it is. That's the deal with it. So I always want to use whatever I got into to fund the dream.
For sure.
So it was never a plan to be stuck at a job for me. I've always been big on purpose, trying to figure out where you need to go in life. How do you discover your purpose? The type of people you need to be around, who's motivated, who's not on the same level as you, who's actually ahead of you, that you can learn something from, that somebody can kind of teach you something. Because one of the worst things that we could do out of this lifetime is not have the ability to be open to what others have to say. Because it's a big world out here. It's a lot of diverse opinions. It's a lot of different things that people will try to come at you with. And you actually have to be somewhat sympathetic to what they telling you. A lot of people will look at you and say, oh, the world will just adjust. I don't care. They can just adjust to me. Matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, the world does not have to adjust to you. People don't have to give you what you want or adapt to cater to you. You have to learn how to do that within first. If you feel comfortable inside, then you're going to be all right.
Now, if you don't mind me asking,
yeah, go ahead.
What was your family dynamic like? You know what I'm saying? Was it mom, dad, sister, brother? You know what I'm saying? Like,
my dad wasn't around. There's a story behind that too. It's very interesting. I can tell it now because I'm older.
Yeah, because I want to know like where this righteousness come from. Because usually when you don't have like that father figure, or you know what I'm saying, not to say you're gonna be necessarily a bad person,
I understand where you're going with it. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. It's a lot of like I had to learn a lot. You know what I'm saying, from not having my father. Like I bumped my head a lot. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. So what was your family dynamic like for you coming up? You know what I'm saying. Like
it was my mom, my brother, my grandparents. My grandparents played a very big role in everything. And, you know, when I tell the story, I'm not throwing shade to mom. Me and mom, you know, we've always had our differences, but, you know, that's still my mom. You know, it's certain things that she taught me. I wouldn't even be doing the trades if it wasn't for my mama. You know, she used to work at Ivy Tech and everything. So She gave us that avenue of college, but she said you can always go another way. But my grandparents were very big in really shaping a lot of why I am who I am. I watched them do certain things. I watched them sometimes do the wrong things, so I learned what to do and what not to do from them first. And also my mom too. I learned a lot from watching her, what to do and what not to do. So I never really had people cheering me, rooting me on like that. Like you said before, you said, has anybody told you that you can do anything or be anything? No, that was never it. It was just more like, if you want something, it's attainable. So that was more around what I had with me. I had people who were telling me, Jeff, you can attain whatever it is that you want. You don't have to have any excuses. My grandfather always said, because he grew up in that, the racist era and everything, he said, you don't always have to blame everything on the man. And he means the white man. You don't always have to blame anything on the man. He said, Jeff, I was an A-rate machinist. I was the only black A-rate machinist in the shop at U.S. Steel in Gary for a long time. But he said they wanted me because of what I knew. Had nothing to do with race, had nothing to do with whatever. If something could get done, they called on Jimmy Rutherford. They didn't call on nobody else. It was because of what he knew. So again, man, I'm telling you, man, it's a lot of different things, a lot of gems. Shout out to my grandfather, because he was a very integral part, and he's a lot of the reason why my grandparents in general. I didn't mention my grandmother because she passed away in 2019.
Sorry.
So, it's all right, man. But the thing is, they were my motivational source. I always said they've done so much to help me. The reason why I try to go hard with all these shows and all this coverage and networking with all these people is because a portion of that is for them.
Real righteous activities, man. So how do you go from, wiring shit up, putting shit together, man, to, plugging in wires and pressing record and stuff, man? How does that transition happen? If you remember the exact instance, like, was you dabbling around listening to podcasts, like, I could do that? Or did you know somebody that was doing radio and he was like, invited you up? Like, how does the first instance, the first inkling, when you knew you was going to be on the mic?
Okay. I was on a podcast first, but it was a guy who took an interest in me. Shout out to my mentor. Y'all always get a mentor out there. Always get a mentor. His name is Greg Gray. He had a show called 925 Videos in Gary back in the day, and he got a lot of traction with it. A lot of people know him in the city, the whole nine. And I was just grateful that he reached out to me and wanted me to be on his show. But then as we started going through and doing more shows with him, he would always tell me, he said, Jeff, you got something. He said, you don't see it yet, but you have something. I've been doing this for a long time. He's like, Jeff, you got something. So it really literally started off with me buying a camera, taking pictures. I want to do photography. I didn't even think about doing this. And then when I got that camera, he said, Jeff, it's something else you can get with it. So he told me. I went out and bought the better one, and we just built it from there. And I want to do even more building too, but we working it out.
Now, what was the name of that first podcast and what type of stuff was y'all talking about on there?
It was called, Dope Living TV Live. It's called Dope Living TV Live. That was the first podcast I was ever on. And they older than me, man. I always have an old soul and everything, but we always talked about topics that were relating to everyone. So that's why I fit in with that group. And it was dope. It was good. We were well-rounded with a whole bunch of things, man. It just worked.
Now, I know when he said you had it, it's one of the things that I know he probably was thinking when he said you had it. And I feel like you personally got to have it to do radio.
Oh, yeah.
You got to have a voice.
Definitely.
If you don't got that's one of the things you got to have. You got to have a voice. You got a radio voice. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what, man? When people tell me, I guess I hear it now because now I'm in radio and I'm listening to people. But before, when people would say that, it was just me talking.
Yeah.
I hate my voice. I ain't gonna say I hate it. I don't like it like that. I think it just sounds kind of weird. I guess we all think that a little bit about ourselves, right?
Yeah.
We don't like how we talk, but I started getting in front of the mic. That's why you got that. Hey, it's your boy, Life Coach Jeff. That's why you got that, because that's a part of that.
Yeah, for sure.
I get it now. I see. I'm connecting the dots. I see how it's all, working at play.
For sure. So when you first get started, man, where do you get? You know what I'm saying? Because it don't sound like you didn't mention about nothing about going to school or nothing like that. You mentioned your mentor.
Yeah.
But where do you get, you know what I'm saying, how to work a mic, how to talk on a mic, how to ask a question,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, how to pull a question out of somebody? Where do you study? Who do you study? You know what I'm saying? How do you get seasoned in the game?
Okay. It's one thing is if you want to be seasoned, you have to do it repetitiously.
For sure.
That's the first thing.
Follow
Always got to be repetitive. Because the thing is, if you don't have no place to start from, how are you going to be repetitious with anything? But I did a lot of learning, bro. Honestly, bro, I didn't have a lot of idols. I didn't have a lot of people that I followed. He told me I had something in me, and I said, okay, let me just see what this thing can do. And I turned it into my own. You know, I didn't really go ahead and say to myself, okay, Jeff, who is the person you have to emulate, you know? And I didn't really want to emulate anybody. So I said, how can Life Coach Jeff do Life Coach Jeff? So everything that everybody sees and gets, that's me being me. Excuse me. It's nothing more or less than that, you know?
So also, you know what I'm saying, when you working with a team of people on the show, how easy or difficult was that? And is that something that you rather not do or rather do? You know what I'm saying?
Now, I will say this. When you have a setup and you traveling, when you have a team or a group, it is just best to make sure that everybody is aligned with those same goals. When you're in a group, you have to be sure that you want to get to the same destination. If everybody's not driven to get to that same destination, and they see, sometimes if they see that you're the strongest, they'll pull away because they see that you are the one that can handle that load. So if you can handle that load, what do you need me for? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I've learned that a little bit along the way. And it's not to say that I don't need them because, oh, yes, brother, it is great to have at least 2 or 3 people with me when I have the setup. So that way I can do some more things. I can network, talk to some more people. But I try to get there early enough so I can set up, blah, 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 whoop-de-woo. But one of the biggest challenges is just aligning yourself with the right people who share the same vision as you.
Right, exactly. Cause I actually started putting this together for, you know what I'm saying, I built the booth first, but I don't rap. You know what I'm saying? I built it for the guys, you know what I'm saying? But like in my head, I'm seeing this stuff on YouTube and I'm telling my guys, like, Joe, we can do this stuff, like everything they doing,
Oh, man.
we can do it. You know what I'm
is,
saying?
right?
It's like, I wish I could tell you how many of them around now, you know what I'm saying? It's like everybody that I do this stuff with is people that I met like on the internet or going to shows and doing, and I'm cool with that, you know what I'm saying? All them ain't been righteous too, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, is you gotta surround yourself around like-minded individuals, you know what I'm saying?
Got to, man. That's the way to be successful, man. Some people say go in isolation for 6 months. Okay, go in isolation for 6 months. But if you're gonna go in isolation, you have to be working.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You can't just distance yourself.
Editing for 6 months. I just can't disappear for 6 months.
Yeah, you know, you got to do something.
Sure, right.
So I'm an advocate for that. But if you're gonna go isolated from people, do something, work on something behind the scenes. But if not, you need to continuously stay around people who will give you ideas, who will give you motivation, who will understand the craft that you're doing. You know, because sometimes I feel that people lose that portion of it. You know, some people say that they hear it or they got it and they run with it. They don't want to take no direction from nobody. They don't want to take no criticism. They don't even want to know if anybody, I can ask people, how did this really sound? What could I have really done in this show to make it better? I want an honest critique. Don't tell me I did great just because. And if I did do great and you give me an honest opinion, I'll take it and run with it. But if you hesitate and like, it was good, nah, it's not if it was great, if it was that good, there should be no, tell me that, I can deal with that. My heart not too soft that I can't take criticism in order to be better, you know?
Let me ask you this, man. In your expert opinion, is there a difference between podcast and radio? And if so, what are they?
I'm going to tell you the way that I have structured my particular show, I would have to say no. I know how I can do my shows and structure them for radio. You know, I could have more commercials in there. I could have more sponsorship opportunities in there. I could do that. But the thing is, I want to devote as much time as I can to the guest. So sometimes you'll see that my podcast might be a little different from when I'm on Biggs Radio. I might throw out a couple commercials. But what I try to do is I shout out people too. So if you got an event going on, you got a flyer, you can send it to me. And if I remember, because don't charge it to my mind or my heart, I'm just a human being. It's one of those things. But I do the best I can to shout out to people who got stuff going on, different events, other things of that nature. But I'm really big on, I like to advertise people who are doing something, who are making the waves. Because if that's what you advertise, then people will try to do the best that they can to give you a good product. So then you want to advertise it because you see the work that they putting in. I want somebody to look at me and say, "Oh, how come I can't call Jeff about this book signing I'm doing?" Well, what else have you done to it? Are you having people show up? Is it more than just you signing a book and people showing up? Are you gonna have a band there? Are you bringing an attraction in, something that can really grab them and get them? That's different. That's a different way of taking on a book signing.
Now, also give me some of your pet peeves about doing radio and podcasts, man. With guests, without guests, with co-hosts, without co-hosts.
Okay.
Anything. Just your personal top 3 pet peeves, man.
Okay. Pet peeves with guests. The biggest one is be on time. We talked about this a little bit. Be on time, because our time is valuable.
That only like my show is free, but I consider like doing like a $25 deposit. Like if you come here, I give you $25 back.
Something, man. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you late or don't show up, then I keep the money. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey man, I've sat up here and I'm gonna start doing this with people. I'm gonna start saying, if you can't get here at 5, I don't care if you en route, we gonna have to reschedule. Because once I go downstairs, I lock them doors and I'm up here and we rolling. I already told y'all the format. Your boy ain't taking breaks. You know, I don't have commercial breaks like that, anything. Now, if I happen to get one in there and it happen to be like, let's say a 2.5 minute, 5 minute segment, and you come within that time, you just might get in. But if it's not, you just might get in, brother. You know that you just might make the cusp. But if you ain't coming between that time, it's not for me to be rude. It's the fact that I have to hold a standard. My show is getting more traction. The podcast is getting more traction. People are paying attention. They're reaching out to me, wanting to come on the show now. So it's not like before where I had to beat down the door. They see the setup. They see the lights. They like it when we out. And then they beating down the doors trying to figure out how they can get out. Shout out to Ball Out Brian, because I ain't forgot about you. You and Reese, you've been asking, and I got to get you. I'm going to call you tonight.
Man, what's up, my boy Ball Out Brian?
Yeah, I love his energy, man. He's got great energy. You can tell.
Shorty.
Yeah, man. He really in what he doing, man. And he
gonna go up. He gonna go up for real.
Yeah, he really gonna go up for real, bro. So I need to get that man before he gets snatched up. It's a few people that I had before they didn't have to leave, go on tour, different stuff.
That's why I always say, like, cause I pay attention. Some people like yourself and other people cause people asked to come on, but certain people I feel like I gotta grab them. I feel like I gotta get them now. You know what I'm saying? Not before it's too late. You know what I'm saying? But life be lifing. You know what I'm saying? And,
exactly.
And I always I don't got no problem with saying that you doing your thing or another person doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? And I love to have a conversation with you. You know what I'm saying? And just pick your brain a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely appreciate you coming through. Now, Also with the radio, man, it's a whole industry in itself, you know what I'm saying? And that's something that I wasn't aware of, you know what I'm saying? Being in Chicago all my life, I didn't know that we had a underground music, radio, podcast. I didn't know fashion, everything. Clothing line. I didn't know we had all that. Hooks, I didn't know we had all that. So if you don't mind, man, give me your opinion on your peers in this industry that you're a part of.
I feel that there's a lot of people that can be doing a lot more. And I include myself in that. So I'm not going to tell nobody to do anything that I can't do myself. I say that on the show. I'm going to say it here on your show, So we're going to keep it straight line all the way through. So I know it's things that I can do to go ahead and make myself better. And be real with yourself, because a lot of it is time. Some of it is time consuming. A lot of this, people don't understand it can be time consuming.
For sure.
But the thing is, don't make excuses. You do what you can do. So I do feel that there are a lot of people that need to take that time to actually do what it is they say they're going to do. So if I had to really talk about the peers or anything of that nature, I just feel that there's so much talent in the city. There's so much talent. but I think a lot of them just don't take the time. Like, I'm trying to find different rooms. Like, okay, for instance, I network with Shondell. Okay, Shondell, he the homie. We family. You know what I mean? I can pick up the phone, call him. We talking, we rapping, different stuff like that. We're gonna be at Simeon Alumni Village Hall. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna set up shop there, do my
Been there a
thing
few
again.
times.
I've been there several times. Yeah, several times. Yep. And when I get to do that, you know, see, people have to, you got to pay attention. I'm going to give y'all some game right now. If you ever can get to a Shondell event, get there. Because a lot of people at first, they would like to call it the Chitlin Circuit. I've heard people say that.
I never heard. I don't know what that means.
The Chitlin Circuit is like, we getting a lot of these no-name acts and all these low-end people and all that. But those aren't the types of people that are at a Shondell show. This is from Simeon Alumni Village Hall to the club, to somewhere where we doing that, like the Piazza for his birthday bash. The same caliber of people have the potential to come into that room as they would the birthday bash. See, but you got to see it from the jump. So if you're knocking a Shondell event, you have to go to one and you have to start opening your mouth and talking to people.
For sure.
That's the problem, man. We don't open up our mouths. We don't talk to people. I see a lot of talent and a lot of people, they not open up their mouth and talking to people. Some of them haven't been on interviews. I can tell when somebody has been sitting in the chair and it's like they may be second or third interview. You don't have a lot to say. I have to pull and pry from you. And sometimes that can be draining and taxing. The best shows that I have are the people that can talk. You want to know why I keep talking so much? Because you asking me questions. I'm going to make sure I give you enough for what you got.
For sure.
And what it's going to do is it's going to create good conversation.
You know, make my job a whole lot easier.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
Get to sit back, shake it, nod your head, and agree and shoot to the next question. But then I get to feed your listeners and your viewers with some good information, something that can spark their interest.
The whole purpose of the show, man.
Come on, man.
Whole purpose of the show, man. So
That's it.
now, man, life coach, man. That's a big name. That's a big title, man.
Yeah.
Life coach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not basketball coach.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
Football, life.
Life coach. I know where you're going with
Ain't
this.
nothing
People
like
have
the
asked me this
game-
question.
ain't nothing
Go
like
ahead.
the game of life, Joe. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? What made you, you know what I'm saying, jump in the game as a life coach? Like, what makes you, you know what I'm saying, no disrespect at all, well, what makes you feel qualified, you know what I'm saying, to be a life coach, you know what I'm saying? Because you still young, a young brother in your own right, you know what I'm saying?
I'm 35. We can put the age out there.
So like a 55-year-old, like, brother, you can't life coach me, brother. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know, in your, you know what I'm saying? What made you take that moniker on?
I want to start off by saying this first before I get into how I started. The Bible says to attain wisdom, but in all thy getting, get understanding. It's the understanding that makes you wise. It's the way that you're able to process the information that makes you wise.
I agree with you.
So when we start talking about qualifications, some of the best people that do things in the industry, they were never qualified. It was their understanding of how they process the information. So when we start looking at life coaching and we talk about that as a
grandpa,
like grandpa, there you go. Some of the best nuggets that you got from your grandpa was you sitting in the chair with him, and he was actually serving as a life coach, but that was before the fancy title of this even came around. These were the people who were able to pour into you, and that could actually give you some, how can I put it, give you some good emotional / logical experience that you can be relatable to in order to get a point across so that you can learn. So this is why I life coach. I was asking God for purpose one day, and I didn't know what I was going to get into. You know, everybody always says they want to help people. You know, they want to help. That's the highest level until we start getting deeper into these other levels.
You know, I hear that less and less though. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that
and that's true. And that's true. I think I was hearing it so much at that time because that was around the time when everybody was trying to figure out purpose. You know, these things come in eras. These things come in spurts, you know. So around that time when I was looking for it, people was big on purpose, always talking about it. Now it's like, just start the business. They don't even mention the word purpose.
Doggy dog world now.
They say just go ahead and do it. It don't matter what's going on, and do it hardcore, you know. But I was asking God for purpose, and I didn't know which way I wanted to go in, and I knew I wanted to help people. My ex-girlfriend at the time, she was hoarding out on the life coaching test. And when she was hoarding out on the life coaching test, I asked her to send it. I sat up here and I started reading all the qualifications of it. I got a life coaching certification. So there is some training behind this. It's not just me calling myself a life coach, none of that. There is some training behind this. I started reading what the synopsis of a life coach was. I started looking at it and I said, you know what? I do a lot of this now. And it was very true from that point. Man, I could have got that certification in several months. I did it in like a month and a half, man. Because that's how in depth I was within the curriculum, and how far I really wanted to help people through life coaching, to the point to where I got a tattoo. I got the logo tattooed on my arm, and I also have the 3 monikers that I go by that are also part of my life coaching. You know, shifting the mindset, self-awareness, and call to action. That's why the name of the business is Redirect, Regroup, Refocus. That's what each of those R's cover.
Now, now, who coaches the life coach?
That is a great question, because what I tend to do is, remember the example I gave you about your grandpa, you sitting on the couch and everything, and they were giving you practical information and emotional and practical information so you can be relatable, so you can learn. I do that same thing. I just do it with people. I'm open to what you have to say. I'm open to what the other person has to say. It's inviting other people's ideas in order to be relatable to them. Because I'm gonna be real honest with you, big dog. A lot of what the world is missing is us being relatable to them. A lot of times people aren't willing to step out into different boundaries where somebody's not gonna know who the hell you are, because you worried about being prejudged. Before I got into this network of people, bruh, I didn't know how I was gonna be accepted. I said, one, I don't have a lot of the same background. Never lived the same type of lifestyle y'all have. So what is somebody like me, who ain't really experienced all that, gonna find a way to be relatable to you? But when I sat back and I realized it, I said, yo, we all want to be loved. We all want to be heard. We all want to be appreciated. These are things, me and you could talk about these. We could talk about these 3 subjects for about a good hours and hours on end, because these are subjects that are relatable to people. So the life coaching it's not more of like I tell you to do this because I'm the expert. It's no, do this because I'm going to ask you, how do you feel? Does it make you feel good? If it makes you feel good, go down that way. And that's part of my wisdom, because I have to learn from people to help coach them and learn about people from them, because we do one-on-one sessions too, you know, have the ability to do that. So it takes something to pull that out of somebody, because sometimes it can be taxing and draining.
Yeah.
You get stubborn people who don't want to move.
And that's just crazy. I was just finna ask you.
No.
I want to ask you,
Yeah.
the life coach, are some people uncoachable?
Oh, definitely. That goes, look, some of y'all are uncoachable. And I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to be honest with you and tell you why they're uncoachable. It's only because they don't want to listen. You get a stubborn person, the stubborn person is going to fight you to hell and back, because they don't want to do something different. When you look at, the first thing I start off with my coaching series is shifting the mindset. I start off with shifting the mindset because that's the hardest thing you have to do. You look at the black church. What's the hardest thing we can't break? It starts with a T, ends with an N. I'm asking you this question. What's the hardest thing we can't break?
We don't blast about the church, man.
No, it's okay. No, I'm not putting you on blast about it. It's a general question. I got you.
Oh, John. Oh.
Because I'm going to take the heat for this, because I'm the life coach. Tradition.
Okay, yeah.
One of the hardest things for black people to break is tradition.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Think about it. Tradition can be just as something as you following the same recipe mama and great-grandmama and great-great-grandmama that cooked for 60 years on it.
Yeah.
But now you want to put some nutmeg in that pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
But the recipe never called for it. That's one of the hardest things that we don't want to do, because we don't want to change anything.
Yeah, for sure.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So see, that's the reason why people are uncoachable, man. And believe me, I'm stubborn at times. I'm bullheaded at times, because I'm no different from anybody else who I'm coaching or who I'm talking to on the other end of the mic or on the other end of the camera. You can't take yourself to a place to where you feel that you the one or you've arrived, because you may never reach that within your lifetime. But if I can continuously learn and help the next person and listen, now I am coachable, because all the coach does is they give you a playbook and you could choose to run it or not. Sometimes you might have to throw a curveball in the playbook because the coach might not see something that you don't see. That's not being stubborn. You have to have the ability to add on to what the coach is giving you too. You know?
Now with the like certain people who don't listen, is that like kind of like with the wisdom and age thing? Is it not relatable with age? Because like how they say, like you can't teach an old dog new tricks, or like be like after a certain age people just be stuck in their ways. Is it like that, or is it something totally different?
Man, I coached somebody that was 50 years old. Again, I'm 35. You 15 years older than me at that time. Shoot, man, I was also coaching people who were at least like 30 years older than me, just talking to them, you know? And it all boils down to the same thing, man. It's being relatable. I want anybody to challenge me on that. I want a life coach to challenge me on that. When you sat up here, when you dealt with the transformation from person to person, it was always because you were relatable to them and you got them to see something.
For sure. Like even like when people like like recommend like psychiatrists and stuff. I'm like, if he can't relate to me, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like how well could you diagnose me if you've never been, you know what I'm saying? Like
exactly.
You can never like really know what I, you know what I'm saying, feel.
Yeah. Now there are some things that, okay, shout out to doctors. I get it. You know, there are some things that doctors can diagnose. Listen, depression is real.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, what else is that? Postpartum is real with women after they have a baby. That stuff is real.
For sure.
You know, people die from that. They getting them lowest of lows. And,
PTSD.
PTSD, that type of stuff is wild. So things of that nature, if you're going to diagnose it, though, a lot of times the help is just because somebody needs to get it out. A lot of times we bottle a lot of stuff in, you know, and to the point to where it can run you. And you know when it starts to run you because it's something you talk about all the time.
And that's what I mean, just like as sitting on the couch talking, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how open I can be if I feel like I can't relate to it. I'm going to be open trying to, but as soon as you give me that one sound, like you don't relate to, you don't understand.
But
like,
you know what I do? I'm transparent and I share my stories as well. Because a lot of times people don't want to share because they believe that, think about it. You come to me because you think I'm the expert. You come to me because you think I have done no wrong. You think I have all of the answers for you. But the true answer for that is no. I'm not even going to tell you I have all the answers for you. I'm going to tell you while we going through these sessions and whatnot.
That's the expert I want to talk to.
There it is, bro. And that's the key to it. That's part of the sauce. Like I always tell people, if you want God to truly use you in your gift, you have to be humble enough to admit those parts where you had to grow in. And the only way that I can coach people and give people sound advice is to sometimes bring them into my world. Let them know where I've struggled at. Let them know that you're not alone struggling in that. You think you're alone because the people around you aren't going through that. But just because you didn't meet Betty at the supermarket or Miss Connie over there in the library, you don't know what she in there buying groceries for. That's she probably only got 2 loaves of bread and some cheese, and the only thing she can make for her family is grilled cheese at night, you know? You don't know what Miss Connie is doing in the library because Miss Connie could be reading a book on mental health or just be trying to read something to calm her nerves down because when she go at home, she might be getting beat on by her husband or somebody or just anything like that. You don't know. So it's not about trying to take something and say, all right, I've never done anything wrong in my life. It's like, no, I have the potential to be just as bad and sit in the same place that you are. I am not exempt just because I'm sitting up here coaching you.
Now, let me ask you this, man.
Yeah.
Does the life coach get discouraged? Do you ever be like, man, forget helping everybody else's life. I'm just finna be an electrician. I'm finna be a master electrician, man. And just,
nah. Because the goal is always the same, big dog. I'm not going to deviate from my plan. The electrical work is what I love to do. It's a great thing. I love to go ahead, pick up a print, see how things are interconnected, not get zapped by the juice, you know. But I love
about trades. They fun.
Yeah, they fun, man. So this is fun. If I have the potential of doing this for a very long time, I want to have fun doing it. So I have fun doing electrical work. But it's a different joy I get with helping people. So, again, my source is always, I'm using the job to fund the dream so we can keep making the dream a reality. I just told my wife today, I said, a lot of times as we was driving over here, I said, you know what, I've been really noticing in this season that everything you dream about, it doesn't have to be a dream. It could be reality.
For sure.
You can see yourself right now sitting in L.A. with somebody. I network with a guy in L.A. who has a clothing business.
I say that all the time.
You can.
People are like, we're going to have these conversations in L.A. or on the boat. I say that all the time.
We can. It's nothing to do it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what it takes just to ask somebody to say, hey, man, can I bring this camera out? Can we set up? You got a couple plug-ins? You know, how many outlets how many sources can I plug in this bad boy without tripping the breaker? We good? Okay. Yeah, let's make something happen. I want to show you something. I want to show you what I can do. That's a whole conversation, bro.
For sure.
You ain't even got to ask. You could just open it up and start talking about stuff. You know?
Now, with doing the shows, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And doing radio, have you ever considered or thought about going like totally independent?
Oh, well, shoot. I like to think I'm doing that now. Honestly, let's be real, man. Because even though I'm on Biggs Radio, I represent Biggs Radio when I'm on the station, but I'm still Life Coach Jeff. Life Coach Jeff is the brand.
Right, for sure.
You know, redirect, regroup, refocus falls in the background because those are the principles. But Life Coach Jeff is me. So when I'm out, I'm representing Life Coach Jeff. That's what you're going to get. You know, I can't do anything else at this point. I've put it out there. I've met so many people. I've introduced myself as such that's what they're looking for. It's nice. Ain't it nice when you pick up the phone and somebody call you by the stage name?
For sure.
Because the thing is, that means the stage name holds weight. It's like a rapper. You could call DMX Earl Simmons, but we not going to call him Earl Simmons when we see him. We're going to call him X or DMX.
That's the only
He's
thing
earned
they
it.
know.
That's the only thing they know. He's earned the title.
Yeah, for sure.
So you have to earn the title, you know, while you on this level. So me being independent, or even if I was to go ahead and somebody wanted to pick me up for some shows or whatever, and we tested it out, you know, we can work it out. I'm all for trying stuff, people. I'm all for it. If it's good and we gonna help people, I'm all for it. You know.
Okay. So talking about the good and talking about helping people, man. How much does it cost to help somebody?
It costs not a
You
thing.
don't mind me asking.
Not a thing.
Why not? You know, because some people charge a lot of money to help people, especially help people with their life.
Oh yeah.
So what made you, you know what I'm saying, not make it a lucrative situation for you?
Because, man, again, it's different. It's many different ways to go ahead and be monetized through a podcast and through radio, bruh. Like, everybody don't have to pay me to get advice. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why I believe God set me up this way to go this route, because it's in direct alignment with what I'm trying to do. It's different when you're chasing a bag. Let's say, for instance, when you a DJ, you got to chase the bag, right?
For sure.
That's what you have to do. No dig at my DJ people. I love y'all. I know some great DJs. Shout out to the DJs, okay? We love y'all. But in that particular profession, you chasing the money. So with this, I found out I can do it with radio. And see, that's why I'd rather do it with a camera in front of me. Because if you do it with a camera in front of you, now, instead of just building up your listenership on one end for the radio, now you can also build up your viewership for your platform.
For sure. I understand, but I know just like people come to me all the time, because I know from how you got your setup and how you do it, people come to you all the time and they be like, man, you should sell this. You should sell this. How much you charge people to come on your show? Oh, you none. You should do this. You should do that. You know what I'm saying?
Now listen, we've talked about, and I'm gonna be real. I've talked about charge. I've even said I want to charge $150. You know, now if you're gonna get on Biggs, letting you know, I didn't set the standard of the price. The head honcho did. So we gonna start cranking that out too. But before, I wasn't charging anybody to come on the show, dog. That's how, because the thing is, you have to build first.
Right.
You have to and this is what people forget. I'm not going to do a show for the first time and say, hey, how much you charge? Nobody's going to ask me that, because big dog, they don't know who I am. How do you expect somebody to take you seriously? You have to build your credibility over time. Now, I've done a lot for a year. I've only been doing radio for a little bit over a year, man. And I've done a lot. I've been
seeing you out a lot.
Thank you, brother. Especially
in the city, to be from home base to be in Indiana.
Yeah, man.
Every time I see you, been in Chicago.
Yeah, and that's why I'm able to get them to come from places like this all the way down, take the drive, and come and sit down. I had a guy. It took him. Shout out to Tony 2 times. I think it took him an hour and 45 minutes to get there one day. You know. But the thing is, they see the value in the show.
It's the value. It's your passion. How much you believe in yourself. If you passionate about it, you like, that's it. That's it.
I'm telling you, bro.
We can go there and back. You know what I'm saying? Within 5 hours. That's how they think. You know what I'm saying?
And the energy and the vibe that I want to bring on my show is that, look, there's no pressure to sit in the chair. We're not gonna talk about no craziness, no ratchetness. It's a lot of shows out there like that. We're not gonna do that. We're going to have a very organic conversation. A lot of times I don't even do research on my guests. It's for a reason. It's because I want to be just as shocked as somebody else would be when we go ahead and we start running the tape. Either we record or we going live. So if somebody else is going to be like, dang, that happened, we getting that same reaction real time. So nothing's scripted, nothing's rehearsed. Sometimes I like structure. It depends on what you're doing. Structure is good for certain aspects. So let's say if I'm sitting up here going to BET or something,
Yeah, for sure.
I try to have just a little more structure.
For sure.
But with this, even if I can win over the organic talk, with BET, and then I won't have to need that structure. It was because I was being me.
Yeah.
It was because I was being authentic and organic.
It's about being you. When I first started this format interviewing people, I used to write every goddamn used to write the whole show.
Oh wow.
And my lady heard it one day and she was like, that don't sound like you. Like, you sound,
and see, that's it.
You sound like a robot. She said, talk like you talk regular. She like, people like you for the way you talk.
It is,
you
bro.
Sound. And ever since then, I ain't wrote down a note. I like peruse links and Instagrams, but I don't. I just try to keep it like how I talk to a regular person. Regular conversation.
And see, that's a difference earlier when you asked me between terrestrial radio and podcasting. That's a difference between those two avenues. If you're doing just AM talk radio, that you could just do the same thing I'm doing. Just get on, run no commercial, just get on there and talk. But you have to have show flow. So everything's not necessarily rehearsed. You still be you, but you have to have them quick segments of you being you.
Yeah, for sure.
My thing is, why give them the quick segment when you can go ahead and give them all the way through? Like, big shout out to 102.3. We gonna start having a show on 102.3. I'm gonna be doing it with my guy, and that's going to be good because I'm looking to take it higher for some of my people that want to come on and have these great conversations, and I want to give them a little more exposure too. I can give you some exposure on my platform, but I want to take it a step further while I'm in this sector of radio because it is an open lane. And I don't think people really realize how open radio is, and you can really make it good for yourself. You just have to know how you want to position yourself and how you can connect yourself to these people.
For sure. Now, do you ever get burnt out on the mic? You ever get burnt out? You ever get...
Dog, you was there at the Forever Grateful Awards. I was on for like 3.5 hours, non-stop. Sat up here, talked about, I counted that. I think it was like 13, 14 people in a row I was talking to.
Definitely need the oil because you can't take no smoke breaking that.
Bruh. Oh my gosh. Brother, I sat in that chair and I looked around. Now mentally, I'll be like, okay, it's time to get up. It's time to get up. My mouth is getting a little dry. I need something to drink. I ran out that lemonade that TJ's Lemonade had. Shout out to TJ's Lemonade. Y'all kept a brother up. We was well. We was well hydrated. It was great, dog. That is some great lemonade. Old boy, 17 years old. 5.
Yeah, I gotta interview him.
Oh, please.
I thought it was his mom. I'm trying to interview her. She's like, no, that's him. I didn't even realize what she was saying till 20 minutes later. But yeah, that's dope. It was funny that happened.
What else happened? What happened?
Somebody had bought like a big thing of the juices they thought was alcohol. So when I was buying it, it was like, yeah, alcohol. It was like, no, this ain't alcohol. Somebody buying me was like, what the fuck?
Yo, because I ain't gonna lie, you know how it was. That night they was looking for it, bro. They was like, I thought they was gonna be looking here. Rich, man. Rich is such a dope soul, man. My thing is, my brother is high on life, you know.
You don't need alcohol every time to kick it, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly, man. Some people feel like they need it all the time to go.
But the award show, you need alcohol.
But I understand that. Yes, it's an award show. You know, provide a little libation for your people, you know?
For sure. But no, that's dope, man. That's dope. I love seeing stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Rich, you know what I'm saying, doing stuff like that for the industry, you know what I'm saying, that we a part of, man. So before you get up out of here, man, I got a few more questions for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, also with doing radio, man, have you ever considered relocating, you know what I'm saying? Because in this industry we're in, you hear whispers like you can do more if your interviews do more if you do 290 Mo podcasts in LA, you know what I'm saying? Or if you go to Atlanta, you can rent a podcast studio and interviews there.
Exactly.
So have you ever considered like relocating, like even to Chicago to like do more as far as the radio and life culture?
I have, but it's gotta fit. I'm not gonna do anything if it doesn't fit. And it's got to make sense because I feel that sometimes with in this industry, you can definitely jump the gun very quickly. So like we talked about wisdom earlier, you have to use a bit of wisdom when it comes to this. You have to know when it's time to plan, and then you have to know when it's time to execute. I'm definitely open to all of that stuff. I'm open to each and everything like that, man. If it's something that can open up, if it's something that can make some waves or have a different space or get me in tune with a different audience, because shout out to Biggs, my biggest people that listen to me are in Atlanta. So I'm building up that audience every week when I come on. and I'm syndicated from 9 to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday.
That's what's up.
And so they listening, you know. So I have to just keep doing those things to get their ear and their attention. So artists, when you come on my show, ATL was listening to you. So you don't know who might be listening, who might catch some of your music, if it might get circulated down south, because we got a presence down there. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, being a life coach, man, do you have to like everybody?
That is a great question. I ain't got to like you. I just have to have it in my heart to want to help you. Since I have it in my heart to help you. See, that's a great question because
I didn't even interview with some people who was like, I don't, you know what I'm saying?
I'm going to tell you something.
He's my favorite person in the world.
Because I'm going to tell you something. There's a difference between like and love. See, Christ said, out of the greatest of these commandments is love. And if you love, you've pretty much fulfilled all the commandments. You have fulfilled all the commandments. So that's why I have to say there's a difference between like and love. See, I love people. So that's where it comes from. You could treat me like a dog. I still love you. I might not like how everything went down, but I still have to love you. That's why it's going to come back to me. So now when we start talking about being selfless, somehow God has a way of it turning into some type of a little bit of self-righteous, because he could throw something back on you, and because of your character, people will recognize that. So I feel that's why you're supposed to show love. I ain't got to like you, but I'm definitely going to show you love. I'm not going, I had somebody come on the show. I never aired it. It was bad. Never aired it.
I never aired. I had some shit happen, but I never aired. I still aired it.
But that was only one show though. Because it was the vision that I had and where I was trying to go in terms of the conversation. That wasn't Life Coach Jeff.
Yeah.
You know? So I had to stick to the plan. I had to stick to the vision. If I would have deviated from that, that would have brought a different crowd of people to want to sit in my chair. Now I'm for you. But the thing is, if you want to sit in the chair, now the bar has been raised because of the people who have come on the show. You got to be doing something. You got to be making some type of waves, because now my audience is looking for game. They're looking for ways that they can succeed and get ahead. So if I go ahead and I bring the standard down low again, I might end up losing some viewership and some listenership, because now they're looking for the nuggets and the gems. If I'm the only one providing the nuggets and the gems, they looking for us to bounce off of each other. They want to hear the creativeness off of two people, different ideas. They want to see how somebody can exemplify all of that goodness into the artistry and in the work that they're doing. If you get somebody like that who don't even have that on their mind, that tarnishes your brand, your image. Yeah. That can really throw you off the course.
And that's crazy, because that's something that I'm actually working on myself, because it's free to come on to the show, you know what I'm saying? And I was just letting any and everybody, you know what I'm saying? And now it's still free, but I've implemented a vetting process, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Like what have you been doing? What have you been working on? You know what I'm saying? Because I done had people like, send me a link to some work you've been doing. They ain't send me one TikTok link from
nothing
2 years ago, you know what I'm saying? Then we get up here and they got one word answers. You know what I'm saying? So, and there's no disrespect to that person or to the people, you know what I'm saying? But like you said, you know what I'm saying, as you level up, you know what I'm saying, it's just for the people that expect a certain type of, you know what I'm saying, quality, you know what I'm saying?
Because the goal is to help them people on the lower level and bring them up. You can't bring somebody on the lower level up if we keep talking to the same people on the lower level. We offer the same thing.
People that don't want to help themselves. You know, I can't want to help you more than you want to help yourself.
And that's it, man.
I can't be promoting you more than you promote yourself.
Like, we at a point now where you could come up with me to the radio station. You can meet some of the people, and I get it. A lot of y'all have met Shondell. A lot of y'all have met Shy Bliss and other stuff. But there are a lot of people who have not. They don't even know how close they actually can be to these outlets and start discovering how they can move within the industry. You find out very quickly that it takes some money to do this. You find that out very quickly.
It take money to live.
Man, everything. But to be in this particular lane, you have to be willing to go out and invest in yourself. If you're not willing to do that, it's gonna be a long road.
You know the game for sure. That's another thing I tell people. I go broke with this every day.
Oh, come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? My 9 to 5 finances my dreams.
Yes.
I go to work and work crazy hours thinking about shit in my Amazon cart. You know what I'm saying? I need this lens. I need this
Come on,
camera.
man.
That's
Exactly.
That's why I don't work
Yep.
because I necessarily like it. I like the money so I can come do more stuff like this.
It is, brother.
So yeah, man, I definitely smell what you step, man. Before you get up out of here, man, let's just talk about, you know what I'm saying, let's plug the shows, you know what I'm saying? Let everybody know where they can find the shows, where they can listen to the shows, you know what I'm saying? All that good shit.
Okay. We got the Jeff Relaford Show on Biggs Radio Chicago, WCHI Biggs Radio Chicago, the voice of a new generation, that airs every Monday from 5 to 6 p.m. and is also syndicated Monday through Friday from 9 to 10 a.m. Yeah, you can find me on there. And I also record my shows. Go to the YouTube. We got to build up the YouTube, people.
Yeah, got to build up that YouTube.
Yeah, the Redirect, Regroup, Refocus YouTube channel. Go there.
Yeah, for sure.
I ain't even gonna shout. I can shout out one. I ain't gonna shout out none of this. Well, you know, Life Coach Jeff Relaford. Google me, and when I say Google me, that's not of arrogance. That's because we have put into the SEO. We have put into all of this. It's a strategy to get your name up there.
They don't even know what the SEO, man. You ain't even have to say that.
I know, brother. I want to give them a little nugget so they go research it, man.
Sure.
So since I said SEO, somebody, what's that? They gonna be like, I need the SEO now.
For sure. Definitely need that.
We've done work to do that. So when I say Google, it's really, really type it. You can type in Jeff Relaford or Life Coach Jeff or Life Coach Jeff Relaford. My last name is Releford. And you will be able to find information on what I do. Mm-hmm. I have my own website, jeffrelaford.com, JEFFRELEFORD.com. That's got more information on it. And I'm going to have more information on it because I also have my own internet radio station, R3 Radio. We got different, brother. Oh, boy. When I start talking about different things behind the scenes with that, boy, that's big stuff.
Man, that is big.
That is
big.
Brother.
Your own internet radio station. What made you go that route on your own? Cause, bro, we got so much similarities. Cause I'm trying to make my own network. I'm making a Roku channel with different shows and podcasts.
Definitely, okay.
So, what made you want to do a internet radio?
What it was because I realized
your own station at that.
I realized that people don't have a place where they can be themselves and give out that success. Not too heavy. Mm-hmm. If it is out there, guess what? It's on an XM radio. It's on one of the bigger platforms and everything like that. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, what if I can make this a bigger platform, offer that type of talk, and we can still cater it to Northwest Indiana and Chicago? Mm-hmm. Why can't that just be the home base in the hub? Mm-hmm. There should be no reason why people shouldn't want to be wanting to come from LA, wanting to come from New York, wanting to come from Atlanta, wanting to come right from I don't know. We'll say Detroit because that's above Chicago, right? We'll say Detroit. They should want to hit these 4 cities and say, hey, man, what is R3 Radio? What's Redirect, Regroup, Refocus? Who is this Life Coach Jeff? And because that's what I want to represent. I want to build something that can represent the people. Mm-hmm. So the people have built. And see, that's the thing. See, don't get it confused, people. I'm not building it. It's actually y'all building it. When I have y'all come on and y'all share them stories and provide that content and them nuggets for the people, I'm just the segue. If they get to hear the stories, if they get to feel some type of liberation or get excited about something they want to get into, now I can go on an hour show and motivate you. I can do it. I've done it before. But sometimes you need somebody that you could be a little more relatable to, that can be in your shoes, that's doing that same thing. I'm not a chef. I had 2 chefs on the show, the other day. I'm going to be sitting down with Bath, the producer.
And that's wild, too, especially if you like food, bro.
Come on, man. Definitely. If you like food, somebody been telling you can cook for years. And then you sat down and you watch Cuzzo's Kitchen and me on the show. We rapping and we talking. Now you feel inspired because now you felt something inside you. It moved. Mm-hmm. So now it makes you want to go out and do it.
For sure.
The people build the show. I'm just a segue, brother.
For sure. Now... I had one more I had to get up off of that, man.
I'm sorry. I hope I wasn't talking.
It was a good.
Hard with
it was a good one too, man. It was a good one.
I'm sorry, bro.
Let me see, man. What so the life coach, man. Man, I hope that come back to me before we get up out here. We got 10 minutes left on the camera, man. But you know what I'm saying? Also, man, with being a life coach, do you ever consider, selling the coaching part of it, like just the, you know what I'm saying, just the life coach part outside the radio, you know what I'm saying, just like life coach, because that's a.
I have thought about that, but I don't want to do that until the rest of this is built first, because that's the thing. Because people need to see where it came from. They need to be able to follow and track the story from start to finish. Sometimes, remember I talked about we can do things too prematurely. You could do something prematurely, and now you're trying to figure out ways how to market it, how to play around with algorithms, how much money to actually put into an algorithm so you get seen. But what if you didn't have to do all that? What if you went ahead, just built the brand and the name first, put in that little bit of work? Because, again, a little over a year, I don't even consider this to be the maximum amount of work that I could be doing. I had an opportunity to go to New York. I had to turn it down because I couldn't go to New York and go out there with Rich and meet Rough Riders, actually sit in the studio. You feel me? But I couldn't go. See, we trying to get to a place where we could just say, oh, we going to New York. All right, we there. So that's why I can't sell those things too prematurely, because people need to know how I got there. I got there because of the work that I did. And now I'm able to give you something. So now you can build yourself up and pull yourself out and get you to where you need to go.
For sure. Man, real righteous brother, man. Real righteous
Thank
activities,
you, brother.
man. I definitely appreciate your time. It's one of the most valuable things we got, man. Especially with you taking that trip, you know what I'm saying? Safe travels to you getting back.
Oh, it's all right.
Before you slide up out of here, man, let the people know where they can find you on social media and all the good shit you got going on.
All right, you can go ahead and find me on WCHI Biggs Radio Chicago. That's WCHI BIGGS Radio Chicago. My show is the Jeff Relaford Show from 5 to 6 p.m. every Monday, and syndicated on the station from 9 to 10 a.m. Also, I have my own podcast, Redirect, Regroup, Refocus. That's the name of the podcast. Redirect, Regroup, Refocus podcast that airs every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. Sometimes I throw in some special shows in on the Thursday or Friday, because you know it's somebody hot and I've been trying to get them in there for a minute and they got something going on. Y'all need to hear the message. I also have my own website, jeffrelaford.com. That's JEFFRELEFORD.com. That'll give you everything you need to know about me. And yeah, we got more big things coming. I want to say this. If you're going to do something, make sure you take the time to make it develop and mature. Because how I'm trying to change internet radio, that's development and maturity and looking at the holes. Even for terrestrial radio, looking at the holes in the game. So pay attention to the holes and look at what you can actually fill in, because you might get better results if you try to fill in a gap rather than trying to walk in somebody else's shoes.
For sure. Hey, real words of wisdom, man, from a righteous brother, man. Like I said, I appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Enjoy
brother.
the rest of your evening.
You too, my man.
In a minute, gang.